everybody, welcome to Aaron's story again. Today is the time for we're reading chapter 18, 19, 20. So, the chapter is very short each. So we just wanted to read 10 pages each. So that'll be no problem, I thought. So let's read chapter 18, 19, 20. The Queen's class is organized. One night, as they sat before the fire, Marilla brought up an important subject. "Anne," she said, "Miss Stacy was here to talk about you." Anne sat up with fright. She tried to remember if she had done anything awfully late, but nothing came to mind. Even her adventure was in line long ago. Why would Miss Stacy visit? "I haven't done anything to disappoint you, have I?" "It's nothing like that," Marilla said. "She wanted to talk about you going to college. She thinks you're smart enough and wants you to take good exams." "Really, Marilla?" Anne exclaimed. "Could it be true?" "Of course, Anne. Several children are preparing for the test. Jane Andrews, Joseph I, Gilbert Blythe." "Oh," said Anne scornfully. "Does that mean I'll have to study with Gilbert?" There was open rivalry between them ever since the day he had asked for her forgiveness, and she refused. He wouldn't even look at her. Anne was surprised at how much this bothered her. It didn't feel at all like winning. Deep down in her heart, she knew if she could answer him again, she wouldn't say no. There are small study group met every day. Miss Stacy led them through Latin and math drills. By summer, everyone was tired from the hard work, but pleased with their progress, and knew that summer would her last as a little girl. It wouldn't be long before they would on long skirts and put her hair up in the bun. So she meant to make most of the summer and enjoy the last moment of it. There was talking and climbing trees, though, and more sitting and reading than acting outside stories. She and Diana were happy just to spend time together. Diana wondered what would happen to them when they grew up. "I hope we can find something rich to marry so we'll never be worried." "We're rich. Why, we haven't 16 years to our credit. And we're happy as queens, and we've got our imagination more or less, and quite content to be Anne of Green Gables." Anne's last year at school passed quickly. She studied hard for the college entrance exam and to beat Gilbert from highest mark. Chapter 19. The pass list is out. Soon, Anne and study group were heading off to take the exam. "Marilla, I just don't know what I'll do if I fail," said Anne. Why, you'll go back to school and try again next year," Marilla replied. "I don't think I never hurt for it. If others passed it and I didn't, it crushed me." Before Anne set off and take an exam, Matthew declared that he knew she would beat the entire island. "You'll have a high score. I know it." It was a wonderful feeling to have someone with that much faith in her, but Anne worried about disappointing him. "That will never happen." Matthew said with so much pride that Anne started to blush. What Anne didn't know, because Marilla didn't tell her, was that Matthew wasn't feeling very well. His heart was bothering him. Even though Jerry still helped him on the farm, he was tired out. The exams were very hard and took us several days. She and Gilbert often passed each other in the hall, but didn't say hello, and wished she had offered his friendship. It would have been nice to have him to talk to. They all returned to Avonlea. It would take 3 long, miserable weeks for the test score to come out. One day, Diana ran over to Green Gables with the newspaper in hand. Anne, you've passed it, she called. And not just passed it, you've come the first. You and Gilbert, it's tie. And hugged her best friend in the whole world. She took paper and ran to show Matthew. Chapter 20. The Queen's Girl. The time came for Anne to leave for college. Both Anne and Marilla were reduced to tears. Even Matthew's eyes were a little wet as they drove to the station. There was such a hugging and promise of letters before Anne boarded in the train. Anne and her Avonlea friends and Gilbert resisted at the academy and settled into their rooms. Since she and Gilbert had top exam score, they were allowed to take extra classes. This meant they could get their teaching degree sooner. There was a lot of work ahead, but Anne knew that rivalry would spur them on. Anne felt a bit lonely. She missed Green Gables and Diana, but was determined to work hard to earn gold medals for highest marks. There was also a Vermont scholarship to think about it. If she was lucky enough to receive it, she could spend another year at college. Anne's homesickness wore off as she made new friends throughout herself into her work. Although she and Gilbert took the same classes, they still didn't speak. They kept their race for top marks and just watched each from afar. One thing that Anne didn't notice, and it bothered her more than she liked, was that Gilbert walked Ruby Gills home from school every day. It was hard to imagine them having much to say each other. Ruby had even told Jane she didn't understand half of Gilbert's side. He talked just like Anne and always had his head in the books, and didn't spend much time thinking about boys, although she'd think that she and Gilbert were friends. She could walk home from station together and have much talk about. On the day final marks were announced, Anne and Jane worked to the main hall to learn who was received gold medals and Avery scholarship. The hall was crowded. The first thing Anne saw was the group of boys carrying Gilbert on their shoulder, calling his name and cheering. Anne's heart fell, so she had lost after all. It would be hard to tell Matthew. Suddenly, the students were calling out her names. 3 cheers for Anne Shirley, the winner of Everly. Oh, Anne, Jane said, isn't it wonderful? For the first time in her life, Anne was speechless. It seemed that Gilbert had won the gold medal and she won the Avery. Her eyes filled with tears of joy. So, this is the end of chapter 18, 19, and 20. So, I'll just check. Next time we're gonna read chapter 21 or 22 for sure. So, I think I'm gonna see you next time.